Our CTV News political analyst Eric Ham is joining me now with more on this. So, Eric, good morning to you. Donald Jr., the first of the Trump children to take the stand. Why are they testifying?
Well, they're testifying because they are integral to Donald Trump's company. We know that when Donald Trump actually took the oath of office in the White House, they became the heads of the company. In fact, they served as executive vice presidents under their father. So they have been with the company for quite some time. And then if you look at Ivanka Trump in particular, the hotel that Donald Trump owned here in Washington, D.C., that was only steps away from the White House, she was integral not only in the renovation of that hotel, but also the sale of it as well. And so there is much information to be gleaned from how they ran the company. And we know that this was a family run business with Donald Trump and his children. And so there is a wealth of information that the attorney general, I think, seeks to exploit, not to mention that she's already deposed all of these individuals. And we know in particular, Eric Trump has either claimed to not have information or take the fifth or didn't provide information in those depositions. And so certainly we know that the prosecution wants to make sure that that information comes out for the judge in this case.
How could his testimony potentially affect the outcome of the trial?
Well, we know that the judge has already ruled that Donald Trump is liable for fraud. So what we're looking at now is how much of a mitigating factor of their testimony will be, but more importantly, how much is Donald Trump and his company going to be liable in terms of the amount that they're going to have to pay in terms of this case. Right now, the attorney general is seeking a floor of at least $250 million, which could certainly bankrupt Donald Trump's company. But of course, that number could go even higher, which would be totally detrimental to Donald Trump, his business, but more importantly, to his campaign as well.
And next week, Ivanka Trump will be testifying, but she is going to be testifying against her brothers, or how does she factor in?
Yeah, she is actually testifying, and she has actually attempted to try to get out of testifying. But the judge actually said that he believes that Ivanka Trump does hold information that is crucial to how the Trump organization inflated or devalued assets, depending on what was beneficial to the company. And so he believes that she does have a role to play here. And of course, we know Donald Trump himself is expected to testify on Monday. And that's going to be pretty explosive because already we have seen just today on Donald Trump's Truth Social site how he has continued to go after the judge in this particular case.
Right. And we understand he's not planning on being there today. And we can remind everybody that he has already slapped the former president with a couple of fines for breaking the gag order. One last question then for you, Eric. Could any of the Trump children individually face consequences as a result of this particular trial?
Well, not individually, but what they can do, of course, is cause potential greater harm to what the initial amount or what the amount is going to be that in terms of the fine that the judge will slap on the Trumps. Because one of the things that will be used against them in this instance is if they actually plead the fifth. Typically in a civil trial, while it won't have consequences in terms of you being in prison, where it could actually have an impact is in terms of it can be used actually against you, which means the judge could actually see that as a detriment. And of course, that could cause that number, that fine, to get higher and higher, which right now it looks like it's sitting at around $250 million. And what the Trumps don't want is for it to go higher. They actually want it to go lower.
Eric Ham, CTV's political analyst. Eric, thank you so much for that.